We're working to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Des Asenas, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines, Department of National Defense or DND Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said he is more than ready to go to the Supreme Court to explain the need to extend martial law in Mindanao for another year. U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for South and Southeast Asia, Joseph H. Felter, wrapped up his official trip to Cambodia this week by warning of China's military presence in Cambodia. As ASEAN Chair for 2019, Thailand adopts the theme Advancing Partnership for Sustainability. Department of National Defense DND Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said he is more than ready to go to the Supreme Court to explain the need to extend martial law in Mindanao for another year. This is in response to the Makabayan Bloc's filing of its second petition at the SC, questioning the legality of the third extension of martial law on the island. The group, in its 39-page petition, said the government failed to prove that public safety required the martial law extension. Lorenzana, in a message to reporters Wednesday night, said, quote, "We will go to the SC and defend the extension. We shall be assisted by the Soljan or the Solicitor General. We will prove that the reasons for declaring martial law still exist." In a 235-28-1 vote, Congress, in a joint session on December 12, 2018, approved the extension of martial law in Mindanao until December 31, 2019. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or the AFP, recommended another year-long extension of martial law in Mindanao in a bid to totally neutralize terror groups still operating on the island. Martial law in Mindanao was declared on May 23, 2017, following attacks launched by the Maute group in Marawi City. The House of Representatives, in a special joint session in July last year, granted the extension of martial law until December 31, 2017 at the President's request. A recent survey by the Social Weather Stations, or SWS, showed that hunger rate in the Philippines has significantly dropped in the fourth quarter of 2018. According to the survey, 10.5%, or an estimated 2.4 million families, experienced involuntary hunger at least once in the past 3 months, a significant drop from the 13.3%, or about 3.1 million families experiencing hunger in the September 2018 survey. The hunger rate for 2018 is at 10.8% and is the lowest since the 7% hunger rate recorded in 2003. The 2018 hunger rate is also significantly lower than the 12.3% hunger rate recorded in 2017. Quarterly hunger rate fell by 10% in Mindanao from 18.3% in September to 8.3% in December. Balanced Luzon's quarterly hunger rate also dropped by 3% from 12.7% in September to 9.7% in December. The Visayas and Metro Manila tallied higher quarterly hunger rates at 3.2% and 1% respectively. Among the 10.5% who said they experienced hunger in the fourth quarter 2018 survey, 8.9%, or about 2.1 million families, said they experienced moderate hunger, while only 1.5% said they experienced severe hunger. The survey was conducted from December 16 to 19 last year, with 1,440 respondents in a margin of error of plus minus 2.6%. U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for South and Southeast Asia, Joseph H. Felter, wrapped up his official trip to Cambodia this week by warning of China's military presence in Cambodia. In November, Prime Minister Hun Sen, who has been nurturing closer relations with Beijing, denied reports that a Chinese-built port in Koh Kong province could be used to dock China Navy vessels. The news comes after a report published by online newspaper Asia Times quoted analysts as saying that a deep-water port being built by Union Development Group, or UDG, was large enough to host frigates and destroyers. Hun Sen said Cambodia, quote, doesn't allow foreign military bases regardless of whether it's for naval forces, infantry forces, or air forces, end of quote. During his visit, Felter expressed his concerns over the Chinese military presence in Cambodia, saying that would undermine regional security and undermine Cambodia's security as it would undermine its sovereignty. And he warned that Cambodia could fall into a Chinese trap. China holds nearly half of Cambodia's $6 billion in foreign debt, and it is Cambodia's biggest trading partner. Chinese investment is transforming Cambodia's real estate market and gaming industry, particularly in Sihanoukville, where there is a special economic zone. Much of this has been driven by China's Belt and Road Initiative, or the BRI, which will build $1 trillion in roads, bridges, railways, ports, and power plants in more than 70 countries to steer global commerce its way. Thailand deploys rain-making planes to seed clouds in an effort to tackle the pall of pollution that has shrouded the capital in recent weeks. The rainmakers spray salt powder and a mixture of calcium chloride and calcium oxide into the clouds, carrying humidity to make it bigger. Ice is also sprayed beneath the clouds to help it rain faster. As Thais woke up Monday morning to another day of murky air blanketing its bustling construction-filled capital, environment group Greenpeace said Bangkok was currently the 10th most polluted in the world, rivaling some cities in China. Reasons for the persistent smog include combustion exhaust from Bangkok's traffic-strewn roads, the burning of fields from farmers outside the city, and pollutants from factories. In recent weeks, municipal workers have sprayed water along the roads and into the air in Bangkok to help clear the smog, while authorities have urged people to stay indoors. Malaysia's foreign minister said the Muslim-majority country will not host any more events involving Israel, as he reiterated that swimmers from the Jewish state were barred from a forthcoming competition. Malaysia is one of several predominantly Muslim states that have no formal diplomatic ties with Israel, with entry to the country on an Israeli passport forbidden. Last week, Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad said Israeli swimmers would not be allowed in for a tournament later this year in eastern Sarawak state, which will serve as a qualifying event for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. The Palestinian cause has widespread support in Malaysia, with thousands taking to the streets in protest when U.S. President Donald Trump recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital in 2017. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim Jerusalem as their capital. Mahathir, now 93 and is in his second stint as premier, has in the past attracted criticism for his verbal attacks on Jews, including calling them hook-nosed. About 60% of Malaysia's 32 million inhabitants are Muslim, and the country is also home to substantial ethnic Chinese and Indian minorities who do not usually follow Islam.
everybody. My name is Sheena and this is downtown Tampa. We are today at Tampa's Riverwalk, a trail that links to so many downtown destinations such as Tampa's Museum of Art, Glazer's Children's Museum, and Rivergate Tower. But there's so much more to the Riverwalks, from playgrounds to restaurants. So while you're planning your vacation to Tampa Bay, make sure to watch Digital Nest on YouTube or Net25 live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I'm Sheena Fernandez, your Florida Bureau correspondent, and I am 125.
Diskusyon, Biyernes alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi.
Spain has proposed 2 agreements with the Philippine government that will enable Madrid to invest in the Duterte administration's various projects, specifically in the areas of infrastructure, agro-food, and tourism. The Department of Finance, or DOF, reported that Spanish ambassador-designate to the Philippines, Jorge Moragas, at a recent meeting, informed Finance Secretary Carlos G. Dominguez III of Spain's proposed Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, for a €300 million facility that it will open to the Philippines for project funding. Moragas also said that another agreement on economic and financial cooperation between Manila and Madrid is being proposed by Spain, pointing out that the country is interested in investing in the Duterte administration's Build, or BBB program, especially in railway projects. Dominguez, in response, said that Spain and its companies are most welcome to take part in the 75 flagship projects under the BBB, particularly in providing rolling stock and other equipment for the rail projects in Metro Manila and Luzon. The proposed MOU on economic and financial cooperation between the Philippines and the Kingdom of Spain aims to further enhance the bilateral relations between the two countries through the creation of a joint intergovernmental committee that will identify opportunities for cooperation in such fields as agriculture, transportation, basic infrastructure, disaster risk finance, energy, and environmental economics. Vietnam's newest commercial carrier, Bamboo Airways, took flight Wednesday, officially entering Southeast Asia's crowded aviation sector, where it will face stiff competition from established players. Air travel in the region has boomed in recent years as appetites and budgets for travel have soared among spendthrift flyers. Bamboo is hoping to tap into the saturated market by offering routes to lesser-known destinations in Vietnam, currently underserved by heavy hitters like Vietnam Airlines and budget carrier Vietjet.
Chúng tôi là một hãng hàng không ra sau và chúng tôi cũng sẽ cái lợi thế chắc chắn là chúng tôi sẽ rút được nhiều kinh nghiệm từ các hãng hàng không khác để làm sao mà phục vụ khách hàng một cách tốt nhất trong cái thời gian tới.
Born poor in northern Vinh Phuc province, Cuyet is best known in Vietnam for building a vast real estate empire, FLC Group, which has built luxury hotels, golf courses, and condominiums across the country and is the parent company of Bamboo. The property tycoon told AFP in an interview last year that he hopes to offer customers integrated travel packages to his resorts at affordable prices. But analysts have warned that travelers are moving away from package deals and prefer to tailor their own trips online. Bamboo will operate 8 domestic routes daily, with plans to fly from Hanoi to Japan, South Korea, and Singapore later this year, and eventually to Europe. Vietnam's aviation sector is surging, with passenger numbers jumping to 62 million last year from 25 million in 2012.
Sự ra đời của Huawei sẽ chỉ tăng cơ hội đi lại cho người dân, giúp thúc đẩy sự tăng trưởng trong lĩnh vực kinh doanh hàng không và có tác động tích cực trong nhiều lĩnh vực liên quan như dịch vụ hàng không, xuất khẩu hàng hóa, hạ tầng, kỹ thuật hàng không, các lĩnh vực công nghiệp phụ trợ và xin thông.
Regional and domestic airlines are scrambling to keep up with that growth as Vietnam's airports strain to accommodate an increasing number of flights and passengers. National carrier Vietnam Airlines and Vietjet, infamous for its bikini-clad air hostesses, currently dominate international and domestic travel. Bamboo is not the only carrier looking to edge into the sector. Last month, Malaysian budget airline AirAsia signed an agreement with a Vietnamese travel firm to launch a low-cost carrier in Vietnam, though a timeline for takeoff was not provided. As many as 55,634 vehicles completely built in Thailand were shipped to Vietnam in 2018, with a total value of over $1 billion. Online newspaper Vietnam Plus quoted newly released statistics by the General Department of Vietnam Customs as showing Thailand was the largest source of completely built up or CBU vehicles in 2018. In total, Thailand exported 55,634 units with a total value of over $1 billion. This was followed by Indonesia with 17,146 CBU vehicles worth more than $269 million. Other major CBU providers included Japan with over 2,000 units, China 1,565 units, the United States 895 units, and the Republic of Korea 632 units. Last year, Vietnam purchased 81,609 completely built up or CBU vehicles with a total value of more than $1.8 billion. These figures fell by 16.1% in volume and 19.8% in value respectively against the previous year. The sharp drop in automobile imports was partly attributed to the fact that many importers had faced various challenges in meeting import-related regulations as outlined by the government. A government official said Cambodia is set to start extracting oil from an offshore oil field being developed in the Gulf of Thailand in October. Chip Sar, Director General of the Mines and Energy Ministry, said that following the first extraction, commercial production of the oil from an area known as Block A in the Khmer Basin will begin next year. Singapore-based oil and gas company Chris Energy Limited, which holds a 95% stake in the area, is expected to produce 7,000 barrels of crude oil per day. Cambodia, which holds the remaining interest in the area, expects to earn $780 million during a 9-year period from next year. Block A is one of several oil fields found off Cambodia and is located about 160 kilometers from Sihanoukville, a major Cambodian port southwest of Phnom Penh. Chevron Corporation, a U.S. oil company, obtained the Block A license in 2002 and sold it to Chris Energy in 2016. Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel F. Piñol said a group of Russian businessmen is keen on investing at least 8 billion pesos in Mindanao to develop 5,000 hectares of Cavendish banana plantation. The project is expected to generate 10,000 jobs. The Russian group, represented by French-Russian businessman Robert Gaspar, is eyeing the Moro Islamic Liberation Front's or MILF main enclave of Camp Abu Bakar as its plantation site, Piñol added. Together with Maguindanao Governor Esmael Malmuda Datu, Piñol accompanied the Russian group in visiting the proposed banana plantation area in Barangay Oring, Buldon, Maguindanao on January 14. Piñol said the Russian investment is expected to be finalized soon as the businessmen and the owners of the proposed plantation area iron out on January 24 the type of business arrangement they would agree on. Piñol said the Russian group is even planning to have a 20,000-hectare banana plantation in Mindanao. The cost of developing 1 hectare of banana plantation is around 1.2 million pesos.